Can you run us through this start of the season with the new 2020 format?
Yes, it's going to be very interesting this year because the new format, now we've got the T20s being part of the competition. It's going to make it a real three-way competition, a real three-way fight. And so the players then have got to be right on the button from the start because they need the points, you need to get into it. And so we're going to have the T20s first. And after the T20s are finished, that'll be into October. There's going to be the run in then and have the 7 one-dayers. And after Christmas then, finished up to 2 days. And so there's going to be a way in which the best teams really are going to be wanting to sort themselves out before Christmas. After that, they're going to be playing catch-up, and trying to play catch-up in a 2-day competition is going to be one of the hardest things they can do. And so they're going to find that there's a lot of work must be put in at the start. Now also what it's going to do is make sure that the people who are training, they've got the ability to be able to adapt to the 3 types of games, and that's going to be the big thing.
Oh, yeah. So is it going to be a T20 per weekend for
Yes.
many weekends, and
Yep.
same for one-days? And
The T20s, all the T20s are going to be played, then the T20 final, then they'll play all the one-days and the one-day final, and then it goes to the 2 days, and the grand final comes after that. So it's going to be a bit different from last year, because last year we had the one-day final after around Australia Day. The one-day final this year should be earlier.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so the teams will be knowing all the way through, especially too for the Ashley Noffke medal. Little points at the start, and then the more points comes for the one-dayers, and by the time you get to the 2 days, it's going to be the big points, and so it's going to be very, very good. And the other thing about it too is that there's going to be a whole new set of rules around with COVID, where the players have to be able to make sure they're always going to follow the rules, have got to be able to maintain hygiene, they've got to be able to maintain separations in the clubhouse and so on like that. On the field it's great because the players don't really come near each other too much. But once they get back into the dressing rooms or around the dressing rooms, or being able to have security with the ball, that's one of the things that the umpires especially are going to have a lot of trouble, or not a lot of trouble, but a lot of work ahead of them, making sure that they're letting the players know what's going to be demanded of them, and making sure the players themselves know, because when you're talking about this, you're going to have two umpires, but you've got 20-odd players, and so obviously a lot of the work is going to have to be done by the club themselves, not the umpires. The umpires are giving guidelines, the players themselves have to be responsible for what they do, and that's going to be the big thing that really is going to keep the season alive, yes. Yep.
So how does this new format with the T20s and the one-days affect like the lower grades, or are they sticking to the traditional format?
No, the lower grades aren't playing the T20s as such to start with. They're not starting until October, and then they'll be playing for a couple of the grades. I'm not too sure which ones now. Some of the grades aren't playing T20s, some of the lower grades, so they'll just be playing the one-days and then the 2 days. So once they get into sync, so you need all the teams in sync if you're going to be playing the 1 days and 2 days, and so that's going to be the thing that's worked out. But the T20 itself, the main part is going to be just for Division 1 to start with. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, so for all the grades it's going to be a period of limited overs games before Christmas.
That's
and then,
right.
And then 2 days
Yeah,
after Christmas.
that's right, yes, going like that, yeah. One of the things too, that there's a new venue coming up that at Tewantin. They've got a new set of lights, and that may be available too, so that they can use those for the night games. And the night games can be with the 1 days, because that's when the teams come there, get start at 1 o'clock and play a night game. It's a very, very great thing for a club, because all the other grades can come back and watch the rest of their team playing, and that's a very important thing. And it's also a novelty, because not many places, in fact virtually no places in Queensland, have regular night fixtures. The Sunny Coast, we've got 2 or 3 venues that can do it now, and so it makes us once again a very valuable place for cricket. Yes.
Right, so those clubs that have the lights at their venues, they all put in saying this is how many night games we want?
Well, what they do is to say they'll try to play night games, but it has to be with the they've got to have agreement with the other side. So if the other side doesn't want to play a night game, they want to stick to day cricket, that's the way it works. So they have to be, both sides have to want to play a night game. Yeah.
Right. So has there been interest from the clubs?
The players love it. The players really do like it, you know. And as I said, it's good for a club, because what does happen is you've got the first playing a night game, the second, third, fourth, fifth and sixth, they'll be back at the club. They'll hang around to watch that. So you have a barbecue, and you know you're going to sell some the bar will do well, and so it really brings the club together too. So it's a definite boon for the clubs. Yes. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
What's happening with the Scorchers this season?
The Scorchers are starting up straight away too. The Scorchers are going to be playing they've got some one-dayers to start the season. And so what we're going to find with that is that the Scorchers, once again with Brisbane, the competition is going to be the 11 two-dayers, and they've got the seven T20s and the four one-days. Now that's going to be just the same thing as all the previous years. They've tried not to change the competition too much, and so we'll find this year once the players get into gear, they won't notice too much difference. So it'll be good for them. So they'll just have the same restrictions on behaviour and same restrictions on where they can go and what they can do and so on. But I think it'll be more settled for the Scorchers, yeah.
Is the draw out for that?
No draws out yet. No, there's no draws for the coast and no draw yet for the Brisbane combine.
No. When do you expect either of those?
We expect. They said the local draw may be out tomorrow. Right, they're hoping to have it out tomorrow. So if they say that, I'd say next week, middle of next week. That'd be the best way. So we should have by this time next week a draw for the locals. The Brisbane draw, there's only been the Taverners draw come out so far. And so we just have to see what happens there. Yeah.
So hopefully sometime soon for that.
That's right, yes. See, that's, again, it's a rolling draw, so we really know what the draw will be, just when it's going to start. And really, who's got the home and aways. Most of the time, when you've got the games, we played Redcliffe away one year, we play them here next year, so it's pretty set. It's not as fluid as the other ones, yeah.
So you know the basic skeleton of it. Just
that's right, yes. We just don't know where the draw is going to start. That's all. Once the draw starts, it's the same order every year. Yeah. Yep.
Anything else?
No, that's right, Pat. Yeah, that'll be good. Okay.
Cheers.